Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Fizzbit. I am your host, Fizzy. Today is going to be an awesome night because we have a really cool guest that's joining us live tonight for a Q&A, and her name is Akilah. I'm just going to wait for her to come in. I think I just saw where she's joined. It's going to be a really cool show. And so I invite you guys to invite your friends. If you're watching this live, please comment and let us know that you're here. And if you're watching this on replay, definitely, as always, make sure you do hashtag replay to let us know that you watched it. Like I said, feel free to share it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I just saw her pop in, so I'm going to go ahead and get her queued up. So just give me a moment to do so. Hi, Alan B. Hi, here we go, Egan. So glad to see you all here tonight. Like I said, it's going to be so much fun.
Hi.
Hi, Akilah. How are
Let
you?
me scoot back some so I can get all the way in the picture.
No, I get it. I'm doing the same thing. I always have to like adjust just a little bit.
And let me put my phone. Let me put my phone on silent so that
No,
I
do
don't
your
get
thing.
blown up.
Yeah, do your thing. Absolutely.
All right.
Well, I love where you decided to do this video at today.
Thank
Beautiful,
you.
perfect scenery, very, very you, very sunshiny. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely. You know that's my thing. I'm
Yeah,
actually on my balcony with my little plant babies.
I'm in love. I love plants. I love um, just anything that represents life. It's totally, totally.
Yep, that's pretty much what it is.
I love it. I'm so glad to have you on today. I've
Thank
been
you.
raving about you. It's going to be a really good night. I've been following your page for actually some years now, and I've just
Yes,
always
really.
been, just really just fascinated by the way that you live, just how you maintain. And I'm also I'm really curious because I mean we kind of create our own idea of how we see people, who we think that they are. So that's why I'm excited about talking to you today.
I'm interested. I'm actually interested to see like what it is that you think about me just based on the stuff that I share because I know that I'm very transparent with a lot of things on my social media.
Mhm.
Um, and it's done that way intentionally. So, yeah, we'll get into that, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't you just go ahead and start off by telling us your name and where you're from.
So my name is Brittany Akilah Thomas. So Brittany is my given name. Akilah is like my spiritual name. That name actually was guided for me to choose by my late grandfather, who was really big into the alternative lifestyle back when I was a really young girl. And I really just had no idea what he was talking about and what he was into at the time. But all I know is that one day he wrote me a letter and he sent me this list of all of these different names. And he was like, you need to choose a new name for yourself because you need something to reflect like your rich indigenous nature. And Brittany just ain't it. So I think I was about 11 years old when I actually chose the name Akilah. And I kind of just stuck it in my back pocket and I held on to it for a very, very, very long time until probably around my 24th or 25th year of age when I kind of like started going through my awakening. That's when Akilah started coming back to me like, Akilah, it's Swahili for wise, intelligent woman. So it just all kind of just connected to me awakening this higher version of myself. And that is essentially how the brand Awakening Akilah itself started. And I'm actually from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cool. Shout out to Cincinnati. Uh,
Yep, shout out
I
to the
used to live
Natty.
down there and loved
You
it.
did?
I
Really?
did. Yeah. Well, actually, I grew up in Covington, so well,
Okay.
Kentucky. So did live in Cincinnati for a short period um, of time, but I do love it down there. I know tons of people, and yeah, I'm actually very jealous.
Why? Why?
because let's just say where I am, it's gray usually.
Where are you right now?
Well, I'm actually in Ohio right now. So
Okay.
northern Ohio, like way northern. So yeah,
Okay.
like near the Cleveland area.
Okay. Okay. So you're not too far.
Yeah, but it's a big change in weather.
Well, look, I'm trying to get out of Ohio altogether, so I want to be somewhere down in the South if I don't move out of the country. I've already experienced living abroad once, and it was a magnificent experience, but it was in Europe. Um, but I'm looking forward to going somewhere down in the tropics, so I can get more of my sunlight and fresh fruits and stuff like that, because that's just where my energy is taking me. So we'll see how that works out in the next coming years.
Please go do it. Hi everybody coming in.
Greetings, everyone.
Oh, so glad you guys could pop in tonight. So can you tell us a little bit just about what you do for a living, just in general?
So, in general, I'm a holistic health and wellness coach. And so, what that pretty much entails is being a support system for people who are looking to make changes in their lifestyle. So, whether they are looking for just coaching so that they can get the support they need to maybe implement a wellness regimen or a wellness plan to address a health challenge that they may have, I assist them with that. And I also can create plans for them to follow to help them do that. And then I also do like lifestyle transformation coaching. So I actually have several programs that I offer right now to help people transition to a plant-based diet, or to kind of help them, just do a general cleanse and detox of their body so that they can, eliminate things that contribute to the decline in their health. So
Perfect.
that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Um,
But you do.
I also forgot to mention, yeah. So that's more like my love for nutrition and health, but I'm also really big into self love and self growth and motivation. And so Awakening Akilah in itself really kind of just encompasses a wide variety of things. And I've been struggling actually for the past couple of months trying to figure out how I can show all the facets of who I am. Um, and I don't know why I made it so challenging, but nonetheless, because I dabble into nutrition, because I dabble into holistic healing, because I dabble into other modalities like sound frequency healing, chakras, and, dance, and all of these different things that help contribute to health and wellness, I was just like, how does all of this fit into all the things that I want to do? But then I
Right.
realized that my vision for Awakening Akilah is not for it to be the one-stop shop for everyone. It's really just the information hub. So this isn't the final destination. So if you've been riding with me for, I want to say, how long have I had this page going? Maybe for 4 or 5 years now. It's sad that I can't even actually remember to be exact. But if you've been riding with me, you will know that I bounce around from talking about a variety of different things, and it's not all just solely nutrition based. But from that foundation, I have expanded out, and now I have another business that focuses only on nutrition aspects. So, and I look forward to creating other avenues that, again, are a spinoff from Awakening Akilah. So that's pretty much the direction that I'm heading in. Awakening Akilah will be home based. And this is where I will showcase all the things that I do and that I represent, and then I will create avenues for you to travel depending on what area in your life you feel like you need the most support.
I love that, and I think that it's brilliant. And so we know
Thank
that we
you.
just need to watch you and watch you closely because you're just getting ready to branch out, and it's going to be just the coolest thing. I'm really excited for that.
Thank
Just
you.
kind of clicking on your link tree and seeing all of your websites and all of the things. I've seen some things on there I'm getting ready to sign up for myself. So it's just going to be, I'm so excited for you. And I'm loving
Thank you.
transformation, transition rather. It's really
Yes.
cool. So can you talk to us a little bit about like what sort of was like the thing that led you to veganism, to plant-based, I guess I should say,
Yeah.
plant-based diet?
So actually, let's see. My journey with changing my diet actually started probably like 11 years ago. I was a sophomore in college. I want to say it was like maybe 2009. I actually was completely oblivious to health and wellness at that time. had no desire whatsoever to be doing all of the stuff that I'm doing right now. So for someone who would have known me back then to see me today, they'd probably be like, who are you? Like, where did this come from? But I was just dealing with a lot of health issues that I think a lot of people struggle with today. But instead of us accepting that something is wrong with us, we assume or we accept that this is just normal. Like, you get older, stuff starts falling apart, things don't work like they should, and that's just a part of life. So get over it. And I was like, no, that's not it. Like, if this is how getting older is going to feel, and I'm only in my mid 20s, like, I don't, like, take me out now. Like, I'm good.
Literally.
So I had chronic constipation, so I literally was only having one bowel movement a week, okay? Once a week. I had an angry vagina, so whether I was battling a yeast infection or if it wasn't that, I had BV, but it was just like back and forth, back and forth. So I had a very angry vagina. My womb space was definitely all out of whack. I was on hormones as well, so I was taking birth control, so that had things really all over the place. I had acne. I was 20 pounds heavier than than my normal weight. Let me see. Like, I'm just trying to make sure I collect everything that I was dealing with. That's just enough to paint the picture. But I was very uncomfortable in my body and very unhappy with the quality of life that I was living. I was actually embarrassed too. I don't know if you've ever experienced any of those things being a woman. It's easy to throw off your balance.
Yeah.
And it's very embarrassing to have those things happen to you. Especially, I was in a relationship at the time. So it's just like, now I got to deal with these embarrassing feminine issues. My boyfriend is like, what's going on with you? So I'm like, it was just really embarrassing. And I was just like, enough is enough. I wasn't getting the answers that I wanted from my doctor. So I just decided to say, you know what, screw them. I'm going to fix it myself. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, look, I'm going to give it a shot. And I just started researching and experimenting on myself. And I did an entire detox. I changed my diet, and I didn't go plant-based though, but I did keto at the time because I didn't know any better. But I did keto for like 2 months, and I completely, I did a colon cleanse, a heavy metal detox. I was doing everything. Like, I was like, I don't know, but one of these is going to work. And it did. Like, when I started seeing the results, when I could boo-boo on my own, girl, I was like, you found something. So long story short, that is what really tapped me into just wanting to explore more the world of health. And it was just like, I was literally addicted. Like, every spare moment I was on the internet studying something, watching a health lecture. Like, I just couldn't stop. And then that's when it dawned on me, like, I don't think that this is an addiction. I think you actually found your calling. And from there, I just continued to study, continued to research, continued to apply. And about, let's just say 5 or 6 years into transforming the lifestyle, plant-based came up. And I knew that that was the next logical step in my transition. And when I was finally ready, I just was like, all right, cold turkey. I was like, we're done. And I just went vegan. It's been 5 years for me now. And I'm looking forward to continuing to elevate. I would love to be fruitarian. Honestly, that's my number one goal. But I feel like being able to let go to cook food.
Speaking of cook food, we'll have to get into that a little bit later because I've seen some of your vegan soul food.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it looks amazing. We'll have to get into that.
Thank you.
So I want to talk a little bit about root season oils. So
let's talk about root season oils.
Yeah, so you used to be, well, when I started following you, you were affiliated with them. Can you talk about your position, what your position was then, and kind of what it is now, since you've kind of gone
way
in a way?
Yeah, so I actually discovered root season oils, oddly enough, randomly one day. Me and my best friend were at Whole Foods, and we ran into one of the young ladies who works there. Shout out to Chelsea from Vibrant Vegan if she's following. But we ran into her at Whole Foods, and we were just vibing. Like, we just happened to just stop and started chit chat, and she told us about the store. And I eventually ended up going one day, and I was just in love. And I was like, oh my God, like, I want to be a part of this. So I left my business card. The owner eventually connected with me, and immediately it was like great chemistry. I shared with her the things that I did and what I wanted to be able to offer to the store. And that day it was like, all right, you're on board. And I was there as their holistic health and wellness consultant. So just pretty much being a support system for the incoming customer base, but also helping to promote myself as well while I was there. So it was a very symbiotic relationship that I had with the store. So it was an amazing opportunity to really kind of give me the opportunity to see like what would life be like if I fully stepped out there and chased my dream while still having the comfort of a space to support me and to incubate me. And so root seeds and oils really was a great stepping stone for me. And here just recently, you know, we had to sit down and talk about like, okay, like it's time for you to transition and fly now. Like you've grown, you've got your feet wet, your business is growing. So now it's time for you to go ahead and step into the next level of your evolution and just go for it. And so I have since transitioned from working in the store, and now I'm kind of just like affiliated with the store. Um, and you know it's more so just like making sure that I send people there when they're looking for their products and services, and they still send people to me when they're looking for guidance and support with their nutrition and your health. So again, it's still very much a symbiotic relationship, and that's always going to be my family and home base.
It's so cool when, you know, you just find connections like that kind of when they just come to you. And
Yeah.
I know I've said I've been following your page for years now, and I see that you talk about a lot of the things that are sold there, and it just seems like it's very homey, like very, like you said, like
Yes.
everybody feels it, welcoming. So tell us where it is.
So Root Season Oils is actually located at 8439 Reading Road. It's in the Reading area, like right past Galbraith. So if you guys are in the Cincinnati area, right when you pass over Galbraith Road, before you get to the Skyline Chili, you'll see it. You can't miss it. The sign is big as day. They are always growing and expanding and sharing new products every day. Like literally, when I even think about the growth of Root Season Oils and where we were and the amount of content and materials that the store had in a smaller space. Now the store has expanded, it's in a bigger space, and the owner, Crystal, is just constantly creating avenues to support the community. Every Saturday she hosts group economics. So she brings in vendors from all throughout Cincinnati and gives them a spotlight to grow and to sell their products and to just network. So Root Season Oils is really it for our community. So I am honored to be a part of that and to have been able to build a relationship with them. Like I said, amazing team of people. I'm forever grateful for that opportunity. Like I've never had. I don't know why I'm getting emotional thinking about it,
Let it
but
flow. Let it flow. People cry. People cry on my podcast. It's a known thing.
but most of the time that I was there, I was actually broken
Hmm.
and I was dealing with a lot. And that owner, Crystal, she kept me close. She poured into me and she gave me a space to find myself because I was really afraid to take the leap of faith to really focus on my brand and my business. I was just really stuck in complacency, and I just had so many things in my life falling apart so that other things could come together. But I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
So
So thank you, Root Season Oil family.
that's beautiful. And it's, you know, talk about community and just really um, just doing something that's bigger than you. Both of you were doing something that was bigger than you. And because you were doing something that was bigger than you, both of you were taken care of in that situation. That's I love that. I love that so much. And I can see the passion all over you, and I love that. And my next question was for you. My next question for you, I probably don't even need to ask it, but it's, do you find joy in helping others as you grow? Because, you know, you're with your page, Awakening Akilah, it's like, you know, if you think about it, you're not focusing on being there. You're just focusing, it seems to me, it just seems like you're focusing on just the process and the beauty of that. And you're inviting us into that. And So I could see you just get so much joy from, just sharing your story. And it seems like you get that with helping others as well. Is that true?
It is absolutely true. I knew when I still had my corporate job, and every spare moment I would get, I would somehow end up talking about my diet or this essential oil that I'm using, because I was one of the only people in my immediate environment at my old workplace that was leading the lifestyle that I was leading. So it put me in a certain spotlight, and people always wanted to talk to me about it. And I would just get so excited to talk about it, like literally. So I knew, like, okay, you should be doing this, but are you ready to do this? And I was forced out. Like, I was forced. I lost my job, and I was literally forced. Like, it is time for you to use all of your gifts and talents to do what you were designed to do, and to stop wasting your time trying to build other people's businesses and brands that really don't care about you. And so that's what I did. I took everything that I learned from my previous job, and now I'm using it for my own business.
So you were
And
literally forced out. Can I ask what you used to do? Because I love when I talk to people who are completely working independently or doing their own thing or working along, with a business partner or two. And, you know, we all want to know what was the last straw? What was, we all want to know the story before, like, Awakening.
so, so I worked at a financial institution, and I was actually their learning development coordinator. So I specialized in creating all of their training content. I was a facilitator and an educator, and then I was also responsible for helping to invest in the development of the members of the company. So it literally was teaching and educating, even though I never thought that I wanted to do that for a living. But in that role, I had developed my interpersonal skills. I learned how to communicate, more effectively. I learned how to build, design curriculums and course content and programs. And now I'm using all of that technical skill to create my own curriculums, to design my own coaching programs, and to teach people how to transition to a healthier lifestyle. So I really got the opportunity to perfect my craft in someone else's business. And then there reached a point where I knew it was time for me to take off, but I was really afraid to do it. And there are people who I was very close with, who I confided in, and I would talk to them about it all the time. Like, I would tell them, like, yes, I'm planning my escape route right now. And I just, when it was time to take the step, I was like, but I don't think I'm ready. So I would stay. And literally, I got booted out. And I honestly didn't even do anything wrong to be released from my position. That's the crazy thing about it. But it happened in the most perfect way, because it was time, and I knew it was time as well. But I just was dragging my feet. So the universe was like, look, we about to just go ahead and push you on up out of here, because we ain't got time to play with you. You have bigger and better things to do, and you have more people to reach, and it's time. So it took me, let's see, this happened in 2018, and I immediately started working on my business. But I was in the background for a whole year, because I really didn't know what I was going to do, or how I wanted to do it. So I was really just kind of in the brainstorming stage. And then in 2019, I kind of started getting out there a little bit. That is also when I connected with root seeds and oils, like mid 2019. And that's when I kind of like started getting kind of comfortable, but my foundation was still rocky, because I was experiencing a lot of challenges with the transitions that were taking place in my life. I've been very transparent about it, but my best friend was dying of cancer. So that was a big challenge emotionally to deal with. I was struggling financially, because I was no longer working for a company, and I was solely responsible for my abundance. So that was a big transition. Um, I had a broken heart that I was dealing with, and a lot to just kind of connect with that. And my self-esteem and confidence were also kind of shattered in that entire process. So I was really, like, my whole foundation kind of just got bulldozed in 2019.
So in
And
2018, when you dealt with those hard things, because you kind of was talking about before, like that's around the time where you started with root seeds and oils. what did you do? What did you do to just not completely there
I'm
out?
gonna be honest. At first, I didn't know what to do. I found myself in my weakest space ever, and that was the most uncomfortable. And that's why I was so grateful for root season oils, because I had the opportunity to really build a relationship with the owner of the store, and she knew my situation. And it was just like she knew that I had it in me to do what I'm doing right now, but I just was not mentally there. And so she was just like pushing me, like, come on, we're going to host an event tomorrow and I want you to lead the event, or we're going to do this, or we're going to, like, she just kept pushing me, like, get out there. Like, I need you to snap out of it. Like, you've wasted so much time in this space. I need you to come out of it. But I didn't know how to come out of it. I literally just didn't know how. And it took me one day to just surrender. I just surrendered. I literally just was like, if this is what I'm supposed to do, then create the pathway for me and I will follow it. And I won't question it. I will just show me what to do. And literally I started having download. Like, I was just like getting these visions in the middle of the night. It would wake me up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And literally it was almost like someone was giving me a blueprint to follow. And I just woke up and I just started putting the pieces of that puzzle together. And literally it was like overnight things started changing in my life. I started to fully understand how I could promote myself and my business products, and it all just started coming together. Now, granted, I had made a lot of, mistakes along the way for me to actually fully get the vision, but that's all I did was just I listened. And that was one of the biggest things that I had a hard time doing, was following my guidance and my intuition. So that really showed me that I am not always going to have all of the answers right away, but as long as I know what is guiding me and I trust that,
Yeah.
then the process will always lead me to where I'm going. And that's what I had to do. I just had to trust it.
I want to say that everybody that's watching live right now just went nuts because you said download. Um, we love that. We love that, and we're using that. That's deep, and it's big. And I was also going to say I'm really just really glad that you listened, because there's so much. I always say that there's so much talent um, in the grave. There's so much talent that's just remains
that
in,
we never,
in,
yeah,
in dream
that we
world,
never got to
remains
see.
in dream world, because it's a lot of, well, is this what I'm supposed to do, when it's right there. My mom always said, sometimes God makes things kindergarten clear. You can't pray for something and then it's given right here to you like this, and you don't take it, you don't do anything. So I mean, it's really, we're so glad that you picked up on the download, because uh
I'm glad, because I was so hopeless. I had never felt like that before. I literally was just like not doing nothing with myself. Like, I just didn't know. Like, I had all of this knowledge sitting in my head. I had all of these ideas, but I just could not figure out how to package it all together and put it out there. Like, I just couldn't figure it out. And then literally, like I said, it literally was like somebody just popped into my head, like, do this, and then you gonna do it like that, and then do this. And I woke up like, and I'm literally up at like 3 o'clock in the morning on my computer, like, okay, let me put this together. Let me create this PowerPoint. Let me do this. Let me do that. And then literally like 2 months later, I launched my plant-based program.
oh, you were on it 2 months.
I
Wow.
was I was on it.
You were on it, and it's something when it takes away your sleep, and you just have to get on and just put pieces of the puzzle together. I love.
I don't recommend it though. Look, I don't recommend it. Get your rest, because I'm telling you, I overdo it sometimes, that because I'm so excited about creating stuff that I don't balance resting and working. That's one of the biggest challenges of being an entrepreneur. It's like you feel like you got to go so hard that you forget, like, take time for yourself, take a break. Like, treat this like a 9 to 5. Put your 8 hours in and then stop.
Yeah.
I'd be on my computer all day from sun up to sundown. And then I just be like, and then got the nerve to be salty if I didn't get to finish the project that I was working on. And it's just like, but you've been on this computer all day, literally. So that's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I would just give to anybody who is on a journey to entrepreneurship or who has their own business is, please, before you start working on your projects, organize your time and literally create a plan and a schedule for yourself so that you're like, okay, Mondays I'm gonna do this. I start work at 9 o'clock and then I'm done at 5, and then stop. Like, literally just stop.
That's good. It's really good advice because I know there's so many people who, you know, are guilty of it. I'd say myself included, but I love to sleep. So, but no, I love that you gave that advice, and I hope that um, entrepreneurs everywhere take heed to that because she's right. Rest is
Yes.
so important. So
Right.
let's talk about your book. You have a cookbook. Uh,
Yes.
I remember when you launched that, and I was really, really excited. So, can you talk
Yes,
a
that
little
was
bit
my
about?
first baby. I launched my vegan soul food cookbook, like, was it like 2.5 years ago, maybe? I think it came about because I'm gonna be honest. I like to eat. I like good food, and I got tired of going to all the events in my family and being hungry.
Yeah,
Y'all all eat collard greens and macaroni and chicken wings and meatloaf, whatever, and I'm sitting over here like, well, damn. Did y'all at least make the greens vegan? Like, did those got meat in them? Like, can I eat something? So I was like, you know what? And then it was like, I didn't want to keep cheating. Like, sometimes I would cheat and have macaroni and cheese, and then it would make my stomach hurt. And I'm like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. Like, my body does not want this. So put put them cooking skills together and create this cookbook. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use my recipes that I already know, and I'm just as the blueprint, but we're gonna veganize this. So I just how I usually make my baked mac and cheese. That's typically like how like the recipe that I put in that cookbook is pretty much how I made it before I went vegan. The only difference is now we're using vegan ingredients. Same thing with my collard greens, all of that. I used my own recipes as the blueprint, and I just veganized everything. And baby, listen, the process was extensive and there were a lot of fails, but when I got them successes and I finally was able to have my first full soul food vegan dinner and Thanksgiving, I was like, hey, you did that. You like, you did that, girl. You did that. And
it,
over the
it looks
years, it's
amazing.
just gotten better and better and better.
It just looks so good. Like
Thank you.
I cannot wait to. I'm gonna have to come get a plate. Definitely. I've already
Yes.
told people that you make it, and that I don't know you personally, but we're gonna get a plate. So
Y'all coming
it
down?
looks so good.
I would love to be able to have like a Thanksgiving kickback or something. Like, I would love to do that and just invite, people to come out. Of course it can't be the whole city can't come, but
Yeah.
it'll be a private kickback, and I'll cook, show a couple of you guys how to help me so we can get it on and popping. We can eat, we can kick back, we can chill. Like, I would love to do something like that, because we need it. We need the community,
Yeah.
and we need the good food. So
And,
I'm down for
and
both of them.
and the education as well
Yes.
behind making, the food and I like I said, I just recently found out that vegan soul food was a thing, and I'm like over the moon with the idea of it. So I'm
Yes.
I'm so ready. That would be so cool. And if you do that, I'd be so down. Um, and so kind of talking about your cookbook and your um, just vegan soul food behind it. Have you found that more people have made the conversion to vegan lifestyle, knowing that vegan food is an option? Like, have you noticed more people have been excited about it?
So actually, the cookbook was one way that I got people to really be open to plant-based nutrition. But actually, last year, What is that? Oh, sorry. I seen something. I'm like, what is that? Is that a bug? Um, sorry. Um, Let me pull myself back. Okay, so I actually was hosting a food day every Friday last year where I would prepare a vegan meal and then I would sell the food just to introduce people to plant-based food so they could see, like, okay, this actually is good. This actually doesn't taste vegan. Like this, like if I didn't know anything, I would think that this was regular food. So that was one way that I got people to really be open-minded to trying plant-based food. The vegan soul food cookbook was another way to do it. And then also the meals that I actually share on my platform. Like, I think it's important for people to see that being plant-based has levels to it. You can be a junk food vegan and eat a bunch of processed stuff, or you can do a whole foods plant-based diet where you're cooking a lot of the stuff on your own using whole food ingredients, and you can still have fun doing it in the process. Like, I don't eat like that every single day, but when those days come where I'm like, you know what, I'm craving something that's like chicken, I want some macaroni, I want some yams, let's put this together. Like, I show people that you don't have to sacrifice just because you decided to go plant-based. It's all about just knowing that there are ways to still enjoy what you like, but just without having the animal products in it. And that's really what I want to get across to people, because once you know that and you see that you can have a lot of room for growth and creativity with being plant-based, then people will embrace it a lot more. But then they'll also get comfortable where they will start elevating naturally on their own, and eventually they'll start, not needing those things as much. So that's the starting place for me with getting people on board.
And I think that that's it's cool, just how you're doing it, and in levels. I think that's important for people to know, because people automatically will think, oh, vegan, sticks and twigs and whatever. Like, they just kind of like, people were so. I mean, I was guilty before I knew anything about it, and my knowledge is still very like, it's minimal. I don't know much yet. But that's the first thing. How can you do that? Or I feel like
Right.
I would get depressed because I'd never be able to eat anything I like. So that's cool, how you did that and kind of went out to the community, and just shared that, um, that education. Um, but kind of getting back to your feed and what you do as far as your lifestyle, more lifestyle based. So I noticed, and I think it's so cool. So I kid you not, I was talking to my husband about this a couple years ago. So I noticed you compost worms.
Yes, I have it's actually sitting right next to me, my worm bin. Um, I decided to start a composting worm bin because I got into gardening this year, so Spirit was really adamant to me about learning how to grow food. So like I said, following that guidance, I started a patio garden, and just me being plant-based, period, I have a lot of fresh fruit waste that just goes straight in the garbage. And I have been knowing about composting for a long time, but I always felt like I didn't have space for it, or that I had to do a lot of different things, when really all I needed was just a bin and put some worms in it and give them some dirt and just throw my food scraps in there and let them eat it and turn it into soil, and then feed my plants with it, because your plants are living entities. They need nutrients just as well. Sun and water ain't enough. They need minerals and different things like that. So just keeping the cycle going. It comes from the earth and I give it back to the earth. And so that's pretty much what, like, pushed me to want to start composting.
That's really neat. And just the fact that, you spoke on, people always think space is an issue, or, it's, there's a way to do anything that you really want to do. So that's
Yep.
with, probably even with maybe having limited space, you still found a way to do what you felt led to do. So when people get on your page and they kind of go through your feed, what do you hope that they feel, when they get on your
The biggest thing that I hope that people feel when they go through my page is authenticity. That's what I want people to see. Authenticity, and I also want them to see realness. Like, this isn't a scripted story. This isn't some vision of some perfect girl who has already figured it all out, and now I'm on Instagram flexing for everybody. It's literally about showcasing my growth journey, and that's really why I started Awakening Akilah in the first place. I literally wanted people to see me go through my transition so that they could see that this little black girl from Cincinnati who grew up in the hood, not exposed to anything about health, spiritual growth and development, empowerment, none of that. Okay? I wasn't exposed to any of that. That she figured out the tools to help change her life and to connect back with her ancestral roots and to really hone in on the things that are going to help her elevate spiritually and physically and mentally and emotionally, all of these different things, cosmically, all of it. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's pretty much all that Awakening Akilah is about. Inspiring others on their journey while I showcase my own. That's my movement.
I love that. Um,
Thank you.
and so it's beautiful. Kind of has me at a loss for words. I'm trying to think of I have a specific question for you, and I'm trying to put this into words. We'll just get back to it. Um,
Okay.
we'll get to it because it's not coming to me. But um, so, along with your transparency, your development with self discovery on your page, is it easy? Do you find that it's easy for you to be transparent, even though it's something that you want to do, or do you find that you still have like that gut feeling when you're about to post something like, I hope that this isn't too much?
It's a little bit of both. Like you said, even though I want to be transparent and I want to share, all the little facets about my successes and my moments of opportunity, as I call them, or opportunities for growth. It is hard sometimes. It's hard, but it has gotten easier for me. And the only thing that has made it easier for me is first accepting the fact that I have a lot of room to grow and that sometimes I am the problem and that I have to hold myself accountable. That's the only way that I will grow. So once I got over the hump of accepting accountability for my own behaviors and all of the mistakes that I've ever made in the past, whether it be, sacrificing myself, sabotaging myself, not owning up to my own standards, letting people run over me, not knowing when to say no when I really wanted to, like all of these different things. When I took accountability for it and stopped trying to blame other people for what was happening in my life, that was the hardest thing that I could have ever done, is telling myself, like, no, it's not that person's fault why this happened to you. You did that. Now sit your ass down and you accept that. Like, that was hard to say, damn, you're right. You did
Well,
do that.
it's hard to pick up the mirror and take a look in it and see that it's you. I mean, you feel naked. You feel very
Yeah.
naked. You feel, you feel naked when you do realize that it's you. And so, yeah, I completely identify with that. And but thank you for saying that, making that known, because that's not something that people usually talk about. That's not something,
No.
yeah, it's not, you don't see people talking about it. It's not one of the pretty posts that you see when you scroll down your feed and, people are trying to spit knowledge about whatever, so thank you for just, for just kind of fessing up about that and just being
Thank
open.
you.
Yeah. What do you hope to accomplish, just in the future with your brand, Awakening Akilah?
So now that I have the overstanding that Awakening Akilah is a hub space, like it's a central hub space for sharing all the different things that have helped me get to this point. So, like I was just telling you, whether I'm talking about nutrition or whether I'm talking about twerking, it doesn't matter. If this has helped me in some way or fashion grow, I want to talk about those things. And my vision, or my My goal is to be able to create tools and resources connected to that so that people can come to me and see overall, like, okay, these are the tools that she uses. And then I'd be able to point them in a direction that they can actually have access to it if that's what they're looking for. So if one of my tools of growth is changing my diet, I want to be able to provide something that someone could use to help them change their diet, because that's one of my tools. If building my self-esteem and confidence and having these hard conversations with myself and accepting certain things about myself was something that helped me grow, then I would like to be able to provide something that gives someone an avenue or access to do the same. So that's really what I want Awakening Akilah to be, the hub space for information and for people to have access to different avenues of healing so that they don't feel like they have to go to 3,000 different accounts to find someone who's into yoga, to find someone who's into chakras. I want to go vegan, so I'm going to follow this page too. Like, I pretty much feel like I encompass a lot of different things. I'm not saying that I have all of them and that I should be the only person that you follow, but I just want people to see that healing looks different for a lot of people and that it requires tapping into a lot of different things. And I'm just sharing all of it. Like, these are all of the things that I do to get myself together.
I love your heart to serve. Um, I love that everything that you're doing is something that's going to help someone else. And just to see that, knowing that you've gone through the different things that you've gone through, the pain that you've gone through, but you continue to serve and want to grow. And it's not a hard brick and mortar, but it's something that is going to continue to grow and continue to give. I think that's beautiful. And
Yep.
so how can we? So last question: what would you say to the person that's hanging on to that corporate job, who is wants to start their entrepreneurial journey, but doesn't know how or feels afraid? What would you say to them?
I would tell them, if I had someone to come back to me when I was in that position, to trust yourself. Trust yourself. Because at the end of the day, we all already know many things about our own journey. We know from the moment we meet a person whether we're going to like them or not. We know whether or not we want to sit at this table at the restaurant or not. Like, it's like we just know certain things. But we always try to reason with ourselves to prove that we didn't know it, right? We misinterpret it and we talk ourselves out of following what we know. I would tell the person, follow the gut instinct, because that is always the most truest and authentic aspect of you. Before your mind and your belief systems and your programming tries to pull it apart, follow what you innately feel inside. So if you feel innately that you are being called to leave your job and to do something else that is more serving to your heart and to your community, follow that. Don't question it. I will also say, prepare yourself for the transition. Like, be smart about it. I can honestly say that when I left, well, I didn't willingly leave my job, but when I was dismissed from my position, I had a 401k and I got unemployment because I was let go of wrongly.
Hmm.
I lived off of my 401k and my unemployment and drained all of it because I didn't really plan properly, and that put me in a tight position. So make sure that you also have a game plan, and pick up a part-time job or something else that you can to bring income in while you're doing it, so that you don't feel so stressed like your back is up against the wall, because that's how I felt. I just stopped everything, and
Hmm.
I was like totally focused on building the business, but the business wasn't making me money yet, so I was struggling because of that. So just create a plan, follow your intuition, and support yourself financially along the way while you build yourself up to get to where you want to go. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's
Yep.
that's great advice. And I feel the same way. You know, follow whatever it is that you want to do. But like you said, being smart is huge. And, being at least somewhat prepared, um, definitely a big deal. So your websites, your link tree on your Instagram account, is that one of the avenues that we can keep in touch with you through?
Yeah, so actually, I'm going to type it in here so that people who come and watch the replay can connect with me. But it is awakeningakilah.com. And from there, oh, I can't talk and text at the same time.
It's okay.
Make sure I spell it right. Okay. So Awakening Akilah is my website, and from there, you can work with me one-on-one if you're looking for guidance and support on your wellness journey. If you're looking to go plant-based, it will take you to my resources to help you transition to a plant-based diet. If you want to get the vegan cookbook, it'll take you there to get the vegan cookbook. So right now I have it all kind of channeled to send you to where you want to go based on what you're looking for. Remember, Awakening Akilah is not the final destination. It's just the hub for information. So I'll always be updating it as I create new resources to help, to help people in need. So that's how you can connect with me. And then, I also do have an email list that you can join as well through that website so that you can stay connected with me and get updates. I also do provide free resources to help you along your wellness journey. So that's also another good treat that you'll get for joining the mailing list. But I think that's it. Follow my YouTube. The link to that is also, on that website, as well as the link in my bio. So you'll be able to get to pretty much all of my different, avenues from there.
Okay. And do you welcome the direct messaging? Or
Sure.
how?
If anyone is looking for help or anything, you're more than welcome to send me a direct message, or you can connect with me through my website. I have a contact link there as well, and you can send me an email if it is something that you have more specific questions about. I actually also offer a strategy session. So if it is something more in detail that you'd like to work with me on, but you don't quite know what's the best avenue for you, then we can always do a strategy session as well so that we can kind of pick the best plan of action for you. So that's available on the website as well.
Really, really cool. Well, thank you
Thank you.
so much. Akilah, thank you so much for just spending this time. You are a busy woman. I know that you are. I've been waiting a very time for this opportunity, and I'm so, so glad that, we're able to have this talk tonight. You're
Me
just
too. Thank you so much.
beautiful inside and out.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I am honored to have had the opportunity to connect with you and to do this. Um, like I said, I had so much going on that it had completely slipped my mind, and I'm like, "Oh my God, we did talk about this," and I told you exactly when I would be ready and everything, and
I'm glad.
life
I'm glad it lined up, though.
it did line up.
Kind of
It
things
did line up.
happen. So I'm glad it lined up. We had this talk tonight, and just so cool to see everything that you're going to be doing in the future, and just kind of how everything that you've kind of had your hands in is just going to butterfly into something else beautiful. So again, thank you so much for this time tonight.
Thank you.
It's been so cool talking to you, and you have a wonderful night.
You as well. Thank you all for tuning in. And like you said, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to connect with me and reach me. Thank you so much for allowing me to come onto your platform, and I look forward to connecting with you again.
Yes, let's do it for sure. It will happen. I always tell everyone this. They know it too. Once you meet me, you're stuck with me. I'm gonna say I mean, I love staying connected with the people who I have the opportunity to do these interviews with because ultimately this is what I do to build community. This is what I do to make sure that nobody is that lonely kid at the lunch table sitting by themselves because there's no reason for that unless you want to be. If you want to
Oh,
be
thank you for doing that.
if you want to be alone, absolutely, that's one thing. But we're all just little kids inside that just want
Hmm.
a friend on the playground. I say
Yeah,
that's my saying. That's what I say because I wholeheartedly believe that we all want to connect. So
we do. We
I
all want
love the fact
community.
that we can have these conversations and change the narrative and answer questions and just have these sort of raw Q&A. So you guys also feel free if you have any questions. Um, Akilah, I'm volunteering you. But if you all have any questions for Akilah, you can put them in the comments as well. Feel free also to
Yeah.
please, please, please share this broadcast. This is how we get out. We depend solely on you all, the community who's watching this, to share these videos. And that way they can get out there and help somebody.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Akilah, thank you so much for your time tonight. And again, you
You're
take
welcome. All
care.
right, bye, you guys.
Bye. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And like I said, if you're watching this live, be sure to comment, share this video, share it in your stories, share it on your page, and be sure to make sure you follow Akilah. She's got all of her information in the chat. But thank you so much for joining us for this hour on Fizzibizzifit, and I hope everybody has a fantastic, very abundantly blessed evening. Love you guys. Take care.